Hello, how are you doing? I hope you're doing good. So come with me as I go down to the city, that is Edmonton City, to celebrate Canada Day or Canada Independence Day, which is normally on July 1st. Here's my advice. As you can see me driving from my neighborhood, and I'm driving all the way somewhere not really downtown, because as a matter of fact they do not advise us to drive our personal cars to the middle of the city because most roads are closed. So my advice is go park somewhere and then use the public transit. So this is me driving and I parked somewhere and we hopped on the train. The good thing with Edmonton, you can get out of the train from underground and come up on the road above ground and go anywhere you want. So yeah, this is us underground in the train. And as you can see, many other families do the same. So you want to use the public transit if you want to enjoy the Canada Independence Day celebrations downtown. We finally made it above ground. This day in Edmonton, Alberta is usually celebrated mainly at the Alberta Legislature or the Alberta Parliament, which you can see right over there, the Ivory Building. So that's where we're heading. It's a very, very huge building on a very big span of land. I don't even know how big it is, but it's pretty big. And so commonly it's called the Alberta Legislature grounds. That is where most celebrations happen. On this day, it's free to the general public. Literally everything and everybody, young and old, pets, everybody is free to come into the parliament or celebrate and come and embrace something that really brings all of us together, because this is the place that really unites a lot of us. This is the west part of the entrance to the Alberta Legislature grounds that I'm at right now. And yeah, usually when you come from this side where I did, there is this big stage which they bring a band, and it's a different band each time, but usually they're fun people to watch. So normally you have to go around the Alberta Legislature ground. There is entertainment literally in each corner somewhere. Let's come along and we see what we get. I'm going to explain something before somebody asks. You see the Royal Union flag on the Parliament building or the Legislature of Alberta swinging. It's common on most government buildings in Canada. Yes, it is a national flag of the United Kingdom, but it's flown in Canada as a symbol of Canada's membership in the Commonwealth and as an allegiance to the Crown of British. But also It can be flown as a historical flag used by Canada as a national flag before the adoption of the current national flag in 1965. Can you believe that? So what you see as the Canada's national flag, which is the maple leaf, that was proclaimed by the Queen of England, who was actually Queen Elizabeth II, on January 28th, 1965. But yeah, so till this day, Canada still flies the Royal Union flag as a symbol. All right, we are finally on the south side of the Alberta Legislature. This is where most of the magic is. And I must say, there is something for everybody in this place. And in between, we didn't get out of this place until we felt that we were really done for the day. And I found a sweet spot for me, which is really music, but this time around, it was band played music or instrumental. That got me. When I got to that place, I couldn't go away from there until I felt that I was done. I'll leave you that, and I'll talk to you then.
Wait a second, we're gonna have to try that again. It is kind of the outro. Can you hear me? Repeat after me.
Girl. Should we find a drink? A beverage or something? Something, something. Something, something. So how was Canada Day today, guys?
Exhilarating.
Huh? Boys, tell me how was Canada Day?
It was fun. Invigorating. Invigorating.
Invigorating. It was what?
Really awesome.
Really awesome. Yeah, hey.
A nice outdoor.
What do you think about being? What do you think about living in Canada?
I like living in Canada. It's a good time. It's tough during the winter here. It's tough during the winter here. It's better in summer.
Yeah. Gilbert, how do you feel about living in Canada?
I like living in Canada.
How do you feel about it?
I feel like this is my home.
Yeah. Glenn, how do you feel about living in Canada?
I like it a lot. It's just really nice. It's comfortable. It feels like home. It's cool.
It is home, right? Yeah. Yeah. And what do you want to say?
It's lovely, yeah. And it's fun. See all these great outdoor spaces that they provide for us. Mostly for free. Nice really spaces.
Yeah. And Gilbert, how do you feel about being a Canadian?
I feel grateful and privileged and thankful for the opportunity to be Canadian.
Right? Glenn, how do you feel about being a Canadian?
I think it's awesome. It's a big privilege, and yeah, it just helps me live a good life.
Yeah. And Angel, how do you feel about being a Canadian?
It's nice being a Canadian because it has a lot of folks that are in or out of Canada.
Right.
And it's just nice being with these people in this area. It's fun.
It's fun, huh? Awesome. Thank you, boys. And I love being Canadian as well. So it is Canada Day or Canada Independence, which is July 1st every year. And this year, 2024, Canada turns 157 years independent. I appreciate you hanging out with me. I always enjoy going to the legislature grounds. There is something about it. I think I can do this literally every Canada Independence Day, which is July 1st here. But usually it's a long weekend, so families can choose to go out of the city or go out of town or go out of the country, whatever. But this particular year, I was in the city, I'm in town, and I was like, we gotta go to the Alberta Legislature. Honestly, to me, I enjoy July 1st or Canada Day more than any other day in Canada. Canada Day is the day that kind of brings all of us together. It brings a majority of us together. For the most part, Canada comprises of immigrants. 90% of people in Canada come from all over the world. My observation, what I have realized actually is that it's especially on Canada Day that you get to see how everybody enjoys being Canadian. Everybody appreciates being Canadian. You're gonna see people walking around with flags, the Canada flag, either on the head, in the hands, on their backs, dressed, t-shirts. There were so many this year, actually. This year, I saw a lot of different Canada t-shirts. Like each one is speaking something specific about Canada. It's just beautiful. It's just beautiful seeing how everybody is celebrating Canada Day. All of us get in the moment, get in the feeling, and show our patriotism. People drive their cars with the flags on it, and then the legislature is open for everybody. You can get in there and take a tour and get to see where your leaders sit and make decisions, where your leaders sit and make or implement laws that will help us thrive and grow and develop. And so there are so many different activities going on in the grounds, entertainment, activities for kids, for families. There is music, dance. There are so many food trucks. But to me, the most is going to the legislature grounds and see how everybody is so appreciative of being Canadian. I don't know where else I would find that. I hope you watched the little segment that I got my kids to give me an idea of how they feel about living in Canada. I hope you watched it. If you didn't, just rewind a little bit and listen to what kids think about being Canadian in Canada. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today. It's such a beautiful day so far. I hope to enjoy the rest of my day. And with that, I hope to talk to you in my next video. Take care.